Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please like and subscribe, become a member to the channel. You can give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram. I'd really appreciate it, but more importantly, become a member to the channel. I appreciate the super thanks. I appreciate the cash app I've been receiving. I'm glad to know that people recognize that there's a lot of preparation that I put into giving you guys a 20 to 45 minute video. It's not hard. It just takes some time, but it's not work to me. I enjoy it. But if you really want to help me take this YouTube boxing channel to the next level, becoming a member helps greatly, especially if I can get a couple thousand people to become a member. Well, now it becomes, a no-brainer for me to do this full time. And I would actually make this more or less like a job and commit to it like that. But I give it 100% the 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day that I do it. 1 or 2 hours in the morning, 1 hour at night, like now when my kids are sleeping. But anyway, let's get to the real deal. Terence Crawford. Have y'all seen this guy? What is that? Now let's go back. Take a look at it again. Now you look at that and you tell me that Crawford doesn't look like he's ready to face Canelo. My boy has put on some serious muscle and muscle for a purpose. He doesn't look like a bodybuilder. He looks like an athlete. And it looks like a guy who's coming into the ring to not just win, but to hold his own, not just get his respect from Canelo, but to get a victory. Now, some people are going to have an opinion about Terence Crawford, but I actually think Terence Crawford was always a 168-pound fighter where he should have been, although he's only 5'8", 74-inch reach. I think now the world's going to see that Terence Crawford is a 168-pound monster. Canelo's a monster too, don't get me wrong. But Canelo's about to find out. Because I think this can be good or it could be bad. Canelo got a little taste of Jamel Charlo. And what I think Canelo has in his mind now, well, actually he got Amir Khan too, is that these are small guys who are great at their weight class, but they don't belong with him at 168 pounds. 168 pounds is his division. But I'll tell you this. Canelo was a small guy who moved up. He's selling to 168. He's done the business. Canelo deserves all the respect in the world. Anyone, I have fun with the videos, but you'll notice a consistent theme throughout my videos. I give respect where it's due for Crawford and Canelo. I'll have fun, I'll make jokes, but I don't play around as far as the talent these guys have. But one thing I'll say is, same way Canelo's watching Crawford like, oh, he's a small guy, he doesn't belong here. Look, for years, Terence Crawford's been seen as a smaller man. And when you find out that this guy walks around 185, 190, and Bomac was having him cut all the way down to 135. You say he was weight bullying or whatever, but he was kicking ass when he was weight draining, dehydrated. What do you expect him to do now that he's finally fighting at his true weight? It's not going to be good for Canelo. I just don't believe so. Crawford's always been seen as a smaller man, an elite technician who conquered divisions by supposedly outsmarting larger opponents. And that's what they're expecting him to do when he gets in there with Canelo. Try to outsmart the larger opponent Canelo, move around the ring, develop fancy feet, and somehow dance his way to a decision, opposed to being a natural 168-pounder who will hold his ground when he has to, exchange smartly at the right times when the opportunities present themselves, by creating opportunities and also capitalizing on Canelo's mistakes. I'm just saying, what if the narrative was, as far as Crawford being a small guy, what if that narrative has always been a lie? What if Crawford was never small to begin with, was what we're learning? He's always been a naturally built 168 pounder. Womack just had him, for over a decade, training himself to fit in the weight classes where we thought he had Herculean strength. But hey, newsflash, he was masking his true power. Now just imagine, now he's where he's supposed to be. So this conversation about that I had proposed about the 8-ounce gloves and now in the 10-ounce gloves at 154 and above, doesn't quite, maybe that's affected his punching power. Maybe the 10-ounce gloves did affect him somewhat because he was still cutting weight, and even for him to make 154 pounds was nightmarish at best. So now he doesn't have to do that. So his true power is going to be unveiled when he gets in the ring with Guadalajara, Jalisco's finest. So the 10-ounce gloves, basically, the way he performs and the way he's going to hit, you're going to think he had them 8-ounce gloves on again. And the revelation, because of these pictures, shaking the boxing world. I heard Canelo had jumped on a horse and rode back to Guadalajara, Jalisco. Said he saw them pictures of Crawford and he was like, hell no. Coño. That man said, ¿Qué pasó aquí? Coño. He didn't want nothing to do with that shit. All this eso, that shit gone out the window. He's saying, oh no. Y'all didn't tell me that this MFer was a true 168 pounder. Just been masking his power and true size by damn near killing himself to get down to these weight classes so he can pull a Devin Haney and weight bully. Look, but he's done with the weight drain era. He's done with it. We know what he did at 135. We know what he did at 140, 147. You know what I'm saying? That was already historic. Now we're learning that he's probably only been operating at 25 to 60% his whole career of his physical potential. Dehydrated, depleted, still dismantling these world champions who are operating at 100%. Boy, imagine what he could have been doing if he wasn't cutting all the way down to those weight classes, those weight divisions. If he wasn't fighting fully fueled. Imagine if he was fighting fully fueled. He probably would have killed somebody. So now this brings me back to that talk of him and Mayweather. I mean, well, still I think Mayweather would get him, but if you can get a Mayweather and Crawford at their true fighting weights, prime for prime, if they were in the same weight division, that conversation takes a twist now. Let me tell you something. A fully fueled Terence Crawford is the version that everybody is about to meet and Canelo's about to confront head on. And I'm telling you, Canelo going to be in for a rude awakening, man. You see, you got to understand the science behind the weight cut. The science of, he still cut weight to make 168, so I want to make sure people understand that. Crawford's not eating steak and potatoes and peanut butter and smoothies and shit to try to bubble his weight up. No. He's still cutting weight. But we just got to understand the science behind all that and rehydration, man. All the experts in Terence Crawford's, man, over there in his little posse and his training camp says his body responded shockingly well. The fact that he smartly put on muscle and the weight cut to settle into the 168-pound division. Say he still has the speed of a welterweight, but now he has increased power of a super middleweight because now he's fully fueled. His endurance is peaking, still got the stamina and conditioning of what he's always had. And I'm telling you, that spells problemo for Canelo. somebody say hello. Unlike past opponents, man, who, balloon up, post weight, Crawford ain't doing that shit. Crawford ain't gonna weigh in and try to balloon up to 180. No, he's gonna walk in the ring his natural weight. That's why he wasn't worried about no rehydration clause and no compromising, just being raw. They say like Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane had that song, R.A.W., a terrorist, here to bring trouble to phony MCs. Y'all remember that shit? That's what Crawford's out here. He's raw. R.A.W., here to bring trouble to Canelo. He ain't playing around. Just raw, optimized athleticism. Let Canelo come in 215 pounds. Crawford don't care. Because he knows where he's at. And he knows what he was able to do at 25 to 60% to elite opponents in those lighter weight divisions. So him being at 25 to 60%, now he's at 100% at 168. You think he's going to care about Canelo coming in at 190, 200 pounds? I just think for Canelo and his team, there's been a miscalculation. They've been misinformed. They've been bamboozled. And everybody's going to see that shit come September 13th. What, we a week out now? Canelo has built his super middleweight reign on fighting smaller men who moved up. Caleb Smith moved up. Billy Joe Saunders moved up. Caleb Plant moved up. They were skilled, but not naturally powerful at 168 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Them guys could box, but they ain't really had a crack to discourage and put a dent in a guy like Canelo. Especially Canelo's chin. You got to give Canelo all the credit in the world for the training and the hours he put in to build up his neck, to build up his punch resistance, to be able to absorb shots. You know what I'm saying? But I just think, even at 168, Canelo, who, again, he's another guy who put on weight to get to 168. So he's filled into the division to where I would consider Canelo a natural 168 pounder. But I think Canelo's expecting Terence Crawford to be another undersized genius. He gives Crawford the respect. He says he's great in his weight division. He doesn't belong here. But now, the reality is for Canelo and the Canelo fans, which I fully expect all of them to strip butt naked and jump into a river of man-eating crocodiles and attempt to swim across, and halfway through they say, you know what, F it, man. Take me now. And them crocodiles are going to sit there, man, and have a buffet. Mexican, actually, it ain't just Mexican. There's a lot of people supporting Canelo. I mean, from all around the world, all races, all religions, all genders. Everybody, Canelo getting a lot of support. Them crocodiles are going to have a nice international buffet. They're going to be chomping up some shit. Messed around and miscalculated, man. Facing a real 168 pounder. Crawford fooled us all. He even fooled Hood Champion, I ain't gonna lie. So we're gonna see him at full fuel, IQ on point, reach, timing. Man, that changes everything. Changes everything. And I know a lot of the Canelo fans already changed their tune after they seen what a real 168 pounder looks like. Now, we got to understand the myth of the smaller man. Crawford's frame has always been deceptive. If you look at him, when he was stripping all that muscle and everything off, he looks like an upside down slingshot. Look frail, long, lanky. Super long arms, 74 inches. Wide shoulders, thick torso. Hidden under, lean muscle. All his sparring partners, 168, 175, for years. For years, sparring these guys. We're just now, becoming privy to that shit. But Crawford's always been out here putting the work against these monsters. But he never trained like a light heavyweight. He trained like a super middleweight. That's why he's so comfortable. He's always trained like a super middleweight, and now the gloves are off, literally and figuratively. And Crawford's here to do the business. So I fully expect there's going to be some power showing up in that ring. And fans, they don't want to see it. And they're not going to acknowledge it. But when Canelo acknowledges the power, the fans will. Because the fans are delusional. They take it to the stupid. These are the kind of people who get out the shower to go take a piss. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just, you a man, you got to get it. You going to get out the shower to take a piss? And now if you're in the pool, a public pool, kids in there, hood champion, I get out the pool. I go take a piss and get back in. But if I'm in the shower, I'm not a Canelo fan. I'm not going to get out the shower, take a piss, and get back in the shower. No, I'm pissing in the shower. But these guys who supporting Canelo, oh no. Bunch of goddamn weirdos, man. Don't want to accept what's in their face. Terence Crawford, Omaha, Nebraska's finest, here to bring the bing bings at 168 pounds. Fully fueled, ready to go. R-A-W, like Big Daddy Kane. Crawford power 168, I'm telling you, they're saying that shit's different. I believe it. Not just harder punches, but punches carrying more snap. Can you imagine that? Terence Crawford's punches carrying more snap, more power. Talk about Canelo being able to punch through Crawford's guard. How about this? Terence Crawford punching through Canelo's guard. Talk about Canelo shooting the uppercut. What about Crawford throwing the uppercut? From left or right. Talk about Canelo with the straight right, overhand right, hook to the body. How about Crawford doing that now? We know Canelo been working on that chin, working on the neck. He been working on that midsection. Look, Viva Mexico Cabrones. I like Mexican food. I live out here, man. A lot of my homeboys, we all grew up together. I have people, friends from all over. Other day, I was eating a torta and shit, just to let y'all know. That shit tastes good, but that shit get you fat. Canelo may have been eating them tortas. Can't be eating that shit in training camp. So who knows what his midsection gonna look like. Even I had to put all that shit down. I'm 239 pounds from 268. Trying to get down to 205. That ain't easy though, but it's just diet. So I say all that to say this. Canelo's not just getting hit with harder punches. He's getting hit with some shit that is going to just jolt him. Because Crawford's still going to have the ability to get his shots off super fast, super powerful, with follow-up elusiveness. And that's where Canelo's going to be lost. He's going to be like, Jesus Christ, this dude is clobbering me, and I can't counter him because where is he? He's fighting a ghost. A strong-ass ghost. I do believe when you have these teams, they're supposed to talk like their fighter is the best, their fighter is the strongest, their fighter can do this, fighter can do that. It's just like people having a son or daughter, child 2-3 years old, and they figure out how to use the remote control on the TV. But if you let them tell the story, the little motherfucker can fly an airplane. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all they did was learn to turn the TV on with the remote control, but these people are so excited when instead of them coming and telling us, yeah, little Johnny figured out the remote control, got a Roku, and little fucker can get on YouTube and watch Yo Gabba Gabba. No, they'll come tell you, oh, little Johnny flew an airplane today. He's my cybersecurity specialist. How about you taking it to the fucking stupid? Shut up, lying ass. And I think these managers, I think these promoters, I think these teams, I think they exaggerate some shit. I do. Saying Crawford is faster now than he was at 154 and 147. To that I say, in the most respectful way, hey, yo, Team Crawford, stop taking it to the stupid. Maybe he has the same speed at 147. Maybe he has the same speed at 154. But don't come out here trying to terrify everybody with hyperbole and shit, you know what I'm saying? Crawford ain't goddamn faster than... Hey, look, I don't know, but I rubbed the hood champion crystal ball. Give me an answer. Shake up the 8-ball and shit. Terence Crawford ain't faster than he was. So now he got the hand speed of a 135-pounder? I believe some of it, but not all right? But what I will tell you, just the fact that he's carrying the same speed he had at 147, 154, that shit's terrifying. Super middleweight power. Probably the power of a cruiserweight. Speed. of a lighter guy. That shit's terrifying. And I'm telling you, if Crawford hurts Canelo, he won't just land one shot. He gonna land 5, 6, 7. And if he really hurts him, he gonna try to get him out of there. Because Crawford's not gonna get tired. Canelo will. But the bottom line is if he starts landing combinations, clean combinations, hurting Canelo, that's how knockouts happen. That's how knockouts happen. So that could really affect the psychology of, both fighters. Maybe Canelo's more aggressive and Crawford's a little more timid and reserved. All of a sudden Crawford zaps Canelo. Now Canelo becomes more reserved and Crawford becomes more aggressive. You see, Canelo has all the confidence in the world because he feels he's the bigger guy and they're fighting this upside down slingshot. And he may realize with the quickness, holy shit, I got a prime Deontay Wilder in front of me. Crawford is a prime Deontay Wilder. Power, quick hands. But this guy has defense, elusiveness. Canelo, you know you fucked up, right? You know you done made a mistake. Now Canelo facing someone who might be stronger, fresher, more dangerous than any opponent that he's faced at 168. Canelo for the most part has just overshadowed the guys he's faced. But now he's got someone to where Canelo is not just evenly matched. Maybe he's really got somebody at 168 pounds who can edge Canelo in all the categories that we use to measure a fighter to determine their greatness. Don't come out here and take Terence Crawford's calm demeanor as as a guy who's shy or afraid of the task at hand. Crawford's calm demeanor isn't false humility, you know what I mean? It's that quiet confidence. Shit you need to be scared of. He knows something the public doesn't, and we're going to find out on September 13th. That's what makes the fight so unnerving. Legacy's on the line, man. If Crawford wins, he becomes the first male fighter in history to be undisputed in 3 weight classes. That's crazy. It's not just greatness, you know what I mean? I've said in another video, the word I use to describe it is immortality. Who the hell can come along, male fighters, and do what Crawford's doing if he can get that done? And if he knocks out Canelo, let me tell you something. That shit's going to set off an earthquake and tsunamis and shit, you know what I mean? I got a little John boat, got some vests to throw on my sons and on my wife. We'll just be out here, man, riding the wave and fishing. Because I'm telling you, if he knocks out Canelo, that shit's going to be a seismic event. It's going to be secondary, tertiary effects. It's going to be some serious fallout as a result of Crawford putting them Nebraska bing-bings on Canelo. And one thing for sure, it's going to definitely redefine the pound-for-pound rankings. Going to erase doubt about size, elevate Crawford into the pantheon of all-time legends, all-time greats. It definitely had to put some respect on his name then. So maybe everything for Crawford came full circle here towards the end of his career. Maybe, look, you always hear people say, God don't make mistakes. I don't talk religion on my channel, and I never will. But what I will say is, maybe we shouldn't be questioning the way things happen. They say things happen for a reason. Maybe this is happening for a reason. And we're going to find on September 13th that it was just written. Crawford's career wasn't supposed to go any other way than the way it's going. The knockout scenario is what we need to really try to understand. Now, you got David Hay and these other ex-boxers. They believe Crawford can knock Canelo out. They say if he hurts him, he's going to try to finish him. Not with one punch, though. They think it needs to be a barrage of punch and this accumulation of damage to take Canelo down. But I'm going to tell you this. Canelo has great finishing instincts. But you know who does too? Terence Crawford. They're elite. Both of them have it. So don't think for a second that Crawford ain't going to recognize he got him hurt and not going to try to get him up out of there. But the thing is, Canelo's durable, man. He's very durable, but he has shown signs of slowing down. I do believe Canelo's going to have more pep in his step. I know Eddie Reynoso's not going to allow Canelo to get in there and the training camp and everything and just get in the ring with Crawford and be flat like 3-month-old soda. I don't think so. But irregardless of what I see in my other videos, But if Crawford lands clean, the follow-up could be brutal. Round 9 or 10 could be the moment boxing history is written. So we need to be looking for that. Now, as far as the boxing fans going crazy and jumping, diving headfirst into that river with them crocodiles, man, that's going to be the result of the shock factor. Shock factor is going to send people over the edge. Fans are still, look, Michael Jackson, man, rest in peace. People still can't accept the fact and process that he's no longer here. You know what I'm saying? It's just the shock, and people still can't accept that. You know what I mean? And I'm not at all trying to make light of anyone's passing. What I'm saying is, you got some fans out here that are going to be devastated if Crawford not just beats Canelo, but knocks him out. And I just think they're going to, if people they got tattoos of this man on their face, on their head, on their neck, on their arms, on their back, on their leg, on their calf. Real fanatical shit, man. So they don't want to accept the fact that Crawford may be stronger than Canelo. That goes against everything that they've been told, everything they've been led to believe. But that's what makes the fight so dangerous. If Crawford wins, especially by knockout, it will send shockwaves through every single sport. It's not just the sport of boxing. Every analyst, every fan, every promoter will have to rethink what they thought they knew. Every expert from other sports and every guy with an opinion who are going against Crawford, they're going to have to stop and say, yo, hold your horses. What did I just see? This isn't supposed to happen. This shit is defying logic. This guy's not supposed, it wasn't supposed to happen this way. And then everybody will deal with the aftermath, If Crawford wins, you better expect chaos. I'm telling you. Maybe some rioting and shit. I'm not even trying to be funny. I won't be outside. I sure as hell won't be shouting, Viva el Negro Cabrones. I ain't shouting shit. I'll be in an underground bunker, man, doing videos, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to find hood champion because they won't see all the videos I did saying Canelo's great. They'll hold on to this one right here and come try to kill me and shit. But anyway, just understand, there's going to be some chaos. The pound-for-pound list will be torn apart. Canelo's legacy will be questioned. A lot of these YouTubers who, their monthly paycheck, it kind of, it depends on the videos they're putting out for Canelo. They're going to be miserable as hell. But I definitely think, man, all joking aside, Crawford will be hailed as the most complete fighter in the modern era. And he'll deserve that recognition. The rematch talk will probably begin instantly. They probably got some kind of clause in the contract right now. But the psychological damage to Canelo and his fans, that shit could be irreversible. So, what happens at the final bell? Look, the final bell may not come at round 12. That final bell could come a lot sooner. I personally think somebody gets knocked out in this fight. Okay? Now, that's me talking. That ain't the hood champion having fun with the conversation. No, I don't see it going 12 rounds. I just don't see it. Because it's not just a fight, you know what I'm saying? This is a reckoning. Crawford at 100%. Canelo should be at 100%. This is a mystery fight. We don't really know what's going to happen, what we're going to get. We've never seen anything like this. Crawford is an X factor. But one thing for sure, Canelo may be the unfortunate soul who kind of unlocks things and gets us to see something in Crawford that we didn't know was there. It's like having a damn hornet's nest or something out there and you decide to go take it down. You knock it down, them hornets get on your ass. That's what could happen here to Canelo. So on September 13th, it isn't just fight night. This shit is really becoming a judgment day. And if you ask me, I think today, the way I see it that Crawford's a true 168-pounder. His true weight's being revealed. His true size is being revealed. And where he should have been all these years is being revealed. As a result, I think Canelo has his hands full. I understand Canelo being the favorite. I ain't delusional now. But I'm having a tough time seeing Canelo get a victory. When I really look at everything holistically, from the patterns, the performances, the habits outside of boxing, everything. I just really have a feeling that If Canelo doesn't step on that gas immediately and try to catch Crawford cold, first 30 seconds, I just think the longer the fight goes on, the worse it's going to be for Canelo. Just my opinion. But you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. So if you guys are looking to bet, I don't gamble, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Okay? Don't look at my videos and go out here and say, yeah, thanks for the champion, I'm putting money on so-and-so. No, you do that because you want to do it. I'm telling you I don't gamble. And I'm telling you, I don't care who wins. Okay? I just like boxing. So I talk boxing. I stir the pot. Okay? But just understand this. I don't care who wins. I had two favorite fighters with Zab Judah and Chris Bird. In case you're wondering, damn, Zab Judah and Chris Bird, why those guys? Because when I used to be out there, man, in training, especially overseas, I fought southpaw. I used to watch Zab Judah and Chris Bird's videos because Chris Bird was a light guy who moved up to heavyweight, but they couldn't hit him. So I used to watch him for his defense. I was like, how the hell does this guy not get hit by these monsters and beat their asses? And I watched Zab Judah because he had such fast hands, but that uppercut, his lead uppercut, his counter uppercut, I wanted to throw it like that, and I learned how to do it. So outside of that, I'm just telling you, I don't care. I don't care. I just want to see a good fight like you all. So y'all keep cool. Could be on September 13th. Canelo Nightmare begins. You know, that's all I'm saying. Crawford was never a welterweight. That was always a super middleweight. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans on 7 continents. Become a member to the channel. In the breeze.